Many of us now live in urbanized environments. This is a consequence of human civilization. But many of us desire to connect back with nature. We are all physiologically and psychologically dependent on nature, but some of us are simply unaware of it. We assume pride in property ownership, but why don't we assume greater pride in making that property eco-friendly, energy efficient, and simply beautiful? We have allowed towns and cities to become increasingly inhospitable places to live in. Garden grabbing, high building densities, and modern construction practices dominate our daily lives. As a result, the lack of green infrastructure has led to various problems, including loss of biodiversity, increased flooding, and higher urban temperatures. In addition, there are health consequences, including psychological and respiratory issues. But studies reveal that exposure to nature has positive effects on our emotional and physical well-being. So how can we improve our urban environment? We can contribute to the amelioration of our urban environment by introducing urban planting, because we need more gardens, more parks, more street trees to be more eco-friendly. The benefits of urban planting is air pollution mitigation, heat island phenomenon control, albedo effect regulation, for instance. Spaces for gardens are limited, and no thought in the urban design process has been made to integrate green infrastructure so far. Our towns and cities are composed of hard surfaces, which absorb solar radiation only to radiate it back into the immediate atmosphere during cooler periods of the day. This has the effect of increasing the ambient temperature of cities by up to 6 degrees Celsius when compared to rural surroundings. As a result, more energy is consumed to cool our homes, resulting in an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide, leading to climate change. Another problem in urban areas is air quality. Vehicular transport and energy production generate airborne minute particles, which enter our bodies through our respiratory tract and contribute to various chronic illnesses and allergies, such as asthma. Children and the elderly are particularly prone to such conditions. It has become common occurrence to experience flooding in urban areas, even following a moderate downpour. This is related to soil sealing. Soil sealing happens when the permeable earth's surface is covered by an impermeable material such as concrete or asphalt, which prevents the percolation of water into the underlying rock bed. Lack of water harvesting facilities also contributes to this problem. Any precipitation falling over a roof will be quickly directed to the street as runoff, resulting in floods. Part of the green infrastructure solution is to create green roofs. Green roofs have the effect of cooling the ambient temperature through heat absorption and evapotranspiration. In addition, the growing media and the shading effects of plants provide insulation to the living space beneath the roof slab, keeping the rooms below cool in summer and warm in winter. All this helps in reducing our dependence on air conditioning use. But what are green roofs exactly? In a nutshell, green roofs are roofs which have had a growing media spread over the roof slab and planted. Roofs are generally sterile environments, but through the installation of green roofs, we can turn roofs of existing houses and buildings into valuable habitats for wildlife. With green roofs, we can create spaces where wildlife can find refuge, giving back to nature part of what was lost to development. Green roofs can become spaces which are species-rich with aromatic and colourful plants. This vegetation in turn attracts beneficial insects and other animals such as butterflies and bees. To help us understand how we can integrate green roofs into our urban environment and our climate, the LifeMedGreenRoof project came into being. One of the project's main objectives is to understand how green roofs could perform in the Mediterranean region. The climate in this region is generally characterized by mild, wet winters and hot, dry summers. However, there are climatic variations even in this region according to longitude, latitude and altitude. The LifeMedGreenRoof project aims at understanding better the performance of green roofs in Malta and Italy and to demonstrate the benefits of the technology for a wider dissemination of the technology. Project's other objectives for Malta and Italy are creating a special designed growing medium ideal for local climatic conditions. Normal soil can cause problems of compaction, loading, and loss of finer particles in wind conditions. Studying the suitability of native and exotic plants in a green roof environment. We can use both native and exotic plants. However, native plants tend to have a close relationship with local wildlife, and they are adapted to local climatic conditions. Constructing 2 accessible green roofs as case studies to demonstrate the benefits and potential of the technology. We are constructing these roofs for the public not only to experience the green roof, but also to show that its technology is successful. To record and demonstrate the insulation effects of green roofs in a local context. To record and demonstrate the stormwater management qualities of green roofs and the possible effects on mitigating local flooding. To develop and improve national guidelines for the construction of green roofs in Malta. To create a standard to guide designers, construction professionals as to how green roofs should be constructed. To draft a national strategy for green roof dissemination. The draft is to encourage installation of green roofs, to encourage financial benefits, incentives and policies. To identify possible barriers and provide solutions to technical and economic viability of large-scale introduction. This is how the green roof at university was built. Over 1,000 plants were used. Soon, the wildlife followed. Based on the substrate depth and maintenance regime, green roofs are classified as intensive and extensive.
Soil is not the ideal growing medium on a green roof because of the various disadvantages it has. As an option, there is what we call a engineered soil, which is a mixture of organic and inorganic material. Generally speaking, green roofs are divided into extensive green roofs and intensive green roofs. Extensive green roofs refer to those roofs with very shallow growing media and plants which are generally called ground cover. The reason for extensive green roof is generally for insulation purposes. Maintenance on these roofs is very low because the plants selected are left to grow and develop on their own accord. On the other hand, an intensive green roof is a green roof which is very similar to a ground level garden, where you have big shrubs, even trees, if the structure permits. And obviously, to support such plants, the growing media has to be deeper.
What about other issues that the future green roof owners might want to address?
So, Antoine, what does it take to install a green roof?
Well, practically, it's a matter of making sure that the structure of the building is able to withstand the weight which will be imposed on it. Then one would design the green roof, and after that, it's a matter of installing the design which has been carried out by your designer.
So, what plants can one have on a green roof?
One has to keep in mind that a green roof is a very exposed area.
Yes.
Okay, you get a lot of sun, you get a lot of wind. So the plants have to be able to withstand such
heat and sunlight.
And sunlight, that's it. We tended in our project, we tended to look at natural vegetation. So we looked at the garrigue, all right, and the plants that grow on the garrigue, and that they were the ideal plants which were able to cope with this microclimate.
What modifications may be necessary to ensure a leak-free installation?
All roofs have to be waterproofed, right? And the green roof would need to be even more so.
Of course, yes.
So, whereas usually we'd have just one layer of damp proofing, okay? On a green roof, we usually put 2 or 3 layers just to make sure that the roof is well sealed. Before we actually install, the best thing to do would be to flood the whole roof by filling it with 10 centimeters of water, say, just to make sure, leave that overnight, and just to make sure that no leaks are present.
So where can one get some more information about green roofs?
Well, nowadays, with all the media we have, we can easily find information on the internet. There are journals, there are magazines which publish information about green roofs. Here at the university, we've got our demonstration green roofs, where one can actually come and see what a green roof is all about. And we will also be happy to discuss any issues or any questions one would have about green roofs.
Antoine, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Green roofs are not entirely a new concept. They can be traced back as far as the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in 600 BC. The natives of Scandinavia and Iceland used sod on their roofs as insulation.
The green roof at the Gnigi Tower in Lucca, Italy. In more recent years, the modern green roof movement was spearheaded in the 1980s in Germany and then spread to North America and the rest of the world after the new millennium. Thousands of green roofs now lay atop buildings in most urban metropolises worldwide. Beautiful examples are the University of Warsaw Library, Poland, and the Jardin Atlantique at Gare Montparnasse in Paris, France. The introduction of green roofs in the Mediterranean region so far lagged behind due to the lack of information and misconception with regards to the particular climate that is synonymous with the Mediterranean region. Such is the case in Malta. In places like Italy, the green roof culture is very much influenced by the German model. Germany is climatically different from the Mediterranean, necessitating different approaches to the way green roofs are regarded, especially when it comes to the choice of plants, because roofs are very harsh environments. They are exposed to high winds and high levels of solar radiations. They also risk being shaded by adjacent buildings or be exposed to excessive light and funneled wind. There are green roof systems which provide for both pitched and flat roofs. In a flat roof situation, the roof slab will need little or no structural modification for sustaining the green roof. However, it is always recommended to consult a structural engineer in the case that the roof cannot withstand the added weight. One of the LifeMedGreenRoof main challenges was to identify species suitable to survive on a roof environment. For this reason, the project team looked for inspiration at native plant habitats. In Malta, the habitat experiencing microclimates similar to that of a roof is the garrigue. Test beds were constructed at the Faculty for Built Environment to test the suitability of the selected flora. The tests commenced in 2014. Since then, the plants showed promising results in terms of growth and establishment with minimal irrigation, even throughout summer. All but one of the species tested were native. Why is the choice of growing medium so important? The use of conventional soil in a green roof environment is unsuitable due to various issues. As mentioned before, soils tend to be heavy, especially when saturated and compacted by time. They lose much of their bulk due to the wind, which blows away fine materials, and due to degradation of organic matter. Silts and clays tend to settle on top of the filter fabric, reducing the efficiency of the system. Engineered soil tends to bypass all of these issues, creating a medium which balances the needs of the plants and rainwater management.
Positive results have also been recorded in terms of biodiversity. Since the planting of the test trays in late April of 2014, beneficial insects such as bees, which are important for crop pollination, have visited the site. Other insects observed include the endemic Maltese swallowtail butterfly, hoverflies and ladybirds. Similar tests are being undertaken in northern Italy as part of the project deliverables. Fondazione Menoprio has also constructed a green roof following trials to understand the performance of plants on green roofs, their resilience and their commercial propagation. The parallel research will help the researchers understand how green roof performance is affected by climatic differences.
Green roofs offer us an opportunity to better utilize space within our property, which would otherwise be underutilized. They also have the potential of making buildings more efficient in terms of energy, comfortable and healthier for those living within and around the building.
Following the construction of the green roofs in both Italy and Malta, a series of tests have been conducted so as to evaluate the potential benefits of installing a green roof. These benefits have been found to include the following: insulation of homes against heat and cold, reduction of the urban heat island effect, reduction of climate change, stormwater management, creation of habitat for wildlife, increase recreational spaces, local job creation. However, other studies have identified other benefits associated with green roofs. These include increased buildings' longevity, improvement of exterior and indoor air quality, improvement of health and well-being, introduction of urban agriculture, increased property value, increased environmental awareness, increased the efficiency of photovoltaic panels, reduction of exterior noise.
During the past few months, the LifeMedGreenRoof project monitored the performance of the green roof in terms of insulation and stormwater management. Furthermore, the project has identified that native and exotic plants can be utilized in a green roof environment and grown in specific growing media. The project has identified and evaluated benefits that green roofs would bring in terms of energy efficiency and stormwater management, which move towards sustainable lifestyles and buildings. Considering this, it would be sensible to encourage the dissemination of the technology, and that policymakers should move towards this aim. With the encouragement of the construction of green roofs, there is obviously the potential to establish a new green industry that would be involved in building such roofs. there is a niche which awaits to be filled. The fact that this project is in partnership between research institutes, the private sector and the public sector promises well for all of us. Sustainable development benefits from the input of a variety of stakeholders working together. Developing models that are applicable to the locations where green roofs are to be deployed through research leads to further work in multiple sectors, from the built environment to horticulture. This knowledge from the different sectors can also lead to improved policy development and stimulate economic growth. We have been and still are using natural resources at an increasing rate. We are polluting our homes and consider nature as a resource rather than a habitat. We rely on nature to provide ecosystem services such as food and habitat. We are part of this project, and there is a new task for all of us: to remind ourselves the way that nature works and to regulate our behaviour accordingly. We need to change the way we live and the way we look at things.